Willow lanterns. In this tutorial we're going to learn how to create a simple pyramid. Before you begin to make your lantern, please read through the safety tips and watch the video through once. You will need willow, ruler or tape measure, scissors, wire cutters, masking tape and string, Copydex or PVA glue, plastic pot, sponge, apron, plastic to cover the table, tissue paper and LED light. Preparation. Willow rods have flexible tips but are very firm towards the base. Let's start by cutting the untidy ends off the base. Be careful, hold the ends secure when cutting to avoid the offcuts firing off and causing harm. Cut the willow in half using your pliers or cutters. Keep the thinner rods, we will use them later for decorations. We're going to use the thicker end of the rods to make the base. Next we need to tear strips of masking tape about 15 cm to 6 inches and place them along the edge of your table. You're going to need lots of these. So how to make your lantern frame, beginning with the base. You will need a ruler or tape measure, and you need to cut 4 rods all the same length. Measure about 30 cm for a smaller lantern and 40 cm for a larger one. And again, make sure those ends don't fly off when you cut them. There we are. Now you need to secure the rods with masking tape. I do this by attaching tape lengthways along your rod. This will create a pocket for the next rod to sit in. Make sure the rod ends are flush with each other. Wrap the tape around one rod and then the other. Squeeze the tape to secure in place. Repeat on all 4 corners until you've made a square. Now we need to cut 4 lengths for the size of the lantern. I would use about 40 cm for a smaller lantern and roughly 50 cm for a larger lantern. Secure rods in each corner using masking tape, using the same method as before. Make sure there are no rods poking out of the lantern and keep the joins tidy as possible. Bring the rods together at the top, securing with masking tape. You may need a couple of pieces of tape to do this. Squeeze in firmly. Let's create a frame for the LED light. Make sure the light is in the centre of the lantern and cut 2 lengths of willow to fit the space. The rod should be touching the light. Secure in place with the masking tape, using the same method as before. Let's speed this up a little bit. Now let's create an opening at the top of the lantern so we can access the light later. Again, secure with masking tape, the same method as before. Now let's decorate the side using the thinner rods that we put to one side earlier. You can experiment with patterns, horizontal, diagonal lines and vertical lines, and we can also curve the willow to make curved shapes. Make sure the rods are firmly attached at both ends. You can gently create curves with your hands. Let's attach a piece of string at the top of the lantern to create a handle. Tie the piece of string in place and secure with tape. Now we're going to cover the lantern with tissue paper. Cut the tissue paper into manageable sizes. You will need watered down glue, 50-50, PVA or Copydex can be used for this. Keep your workspace tidy. Beware Copydex does not come out of clothes or hair. Make sure the glue is not too close to the tissue paper. Apply the glue at the centre of the table, roughly the same size as your piece of paper. Then you lay a piece of tissue on the glue. Apply glue working from the middle of the paper to the outer edges. Do not over soak the tissue. Carefully lift the tissue and don't let go, and place it flat on the lantern. Wrap loose ends around the frame. No need to dip the sponge back into the glue, there's plenty of glue still on the table and on the sponge. Make sure to leave a space to access the light. Work your way around the sides of the lantern first, overlapping the tissues. We only want about 1 or 2 layers so that the light can shine through. Once the sides are done, we can then begin to cover the bottom of the lantern. Make sure you join up the sides of the base of the lantern. Continue working around the lantern in this way. Let's speed this up a bit. I'd apply about 4 layers to the centre, this will support the light. Use smaller pieces of tissue to finish off the top. Check for any small holes and cover with tissue paper. Make sure the tissue is glued to the willow. Just hang the lantern to dry. Decorating the lantern. You can use coloured tissue paper to decorate the lantern, or you can use black card to make silhouettes. Apply a thin layer of glue and gently place the cut-out shapes onto the glued area. Gently dab a little bit of glue onto the tissue to seal in place. Now we're going to attach the light. Peel back the film to expose the sticky tape and place inside the lantern in the centre. There we have our finished lantern. If you have used PVA glue, you will need to waterproof the lantern using SBR glue or Copydex glue. This needs to be watered down 50-50 and applied using a sponge. How to attach a cane to carry the lantern. You will need 2 cable ties. Create a loop at the end of the cane and secure in place with some tape. Attach the cane to the handle using a cable tie, or you could use a piece of string. Make sure it's firmly in place. There you have your lantern ready for a parade. Here are some other easy shapes to make. Thank you for watching this tutorial.